Actually, give me one moment, please, if you don't mind. Just going to tweak the audio just a little. There we go. And let me get into my mod view. So yes, welcome back to another stream here on the Overanalyst channel, live again after a several-day little hiatus due to, well, some sinus trouble plaguing me for a couple days there, but, feeling right as rain today, and ready to tuck into, kinda, sorta the end game of the first Azure Striker Gunvolt. So let me explain what we're going to be doing today, for this game, at least, if not for the second one whenever we get into it. So, if you recall, in our first stream we were able to find most of these, like, little jewels scattered throughout the 7 main stages in the game, and as it turns out, there is in fact a very special reward for collecting all 7 of them. We've got 5 right now. And that reward is a brand new stage available only after, I think, clearing Firmament again. So that would include, like, the final boss fights with Nova, pretty tricky boss fights as they were already, with an added handicap, which we'll get into in a bit. But once you do that, you unlock a special stage that acts sort of as a victory lap and also as a neat little segue over into the second game. So, like, Asimov, the adept kind of extremist that we've been working for most of this time, serves as, like, don't really want to say even a final boss, I think like a post-final boss. As I understand it, he shouldn't be too tricky given the, like, design of that last stage. Hey Spanner, how's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. And congratulations on clearing that video production training course, by the way. So what we're going to be doing, first off, is taking down these last 2 jewels. I do know where they are, thanks to the wonderful world of the internet. And then we're hopefully not going to be just spending the rest of the stream slogging our way through Firmament again, but I think we are going to have to do that. So we'll start off with Marok's Jewel, which shouldn't be too hard if I know where I'm going. That's a big if. So we're equipped with the Naga, we actually know how this stage works now. This should be nice and easy. Famous last words, but... Just kind of going to be running through until we hit the set piece where the stage floods slowly. Kind of, you know, one of those Mega Man X tropes. I will say, yeah, I love this type of game because, going back through an earlier stage like this, I can already tell, oh wait, I have a much better idea of how this works now. And apparently you can dodge most of Marok's little wormhole traps. We don't really need to right now, but there is a mission, I think, for dodging most of them in the span of one playthrough. And I'm excited to get into the second game because, again, I don't know much about that one, save there's quite a few DLC stages, apparently, and several of the bosses from this game, including, I think, at the very least, Yoda and Marok, return as, like, bosses for those DLC stages. And, well, I kind of get my wish to fight, the Lust boss that's killed off by Totally Not Proto Man at Sinner's Row, because apparently they're the main villain of the sequel, somehow, or for some reason, which is pretty cool. They've got, you know, that reflective power. And if, like, the box art is any indication, they get a wicked redesign for the, sequel. We do not care about precision play at all here, we're just trying to get on ahead, do. that jewel, which I'm fairly certain is in the second, dang it, second, Spanner says, oh yeah, this is Mega Man, but not. Absolutely, this was made by, I think largely it was, first off, produced by the same studio, and fairly certain it was developed by much of the same team as Mega Man Zero and ZX, which are absolutely great handheld series. It's basically Mega Man, but with, like, a juiced-up taser. Oh, missed some kind of commendation back there, that's a shame. Alright. That area should be right up ahead. And the jewel should be behind one of those things, one of the missile launcher doohickeys. Just keep on going until we see one of those bad boys. Like so. Not that one, apparently, though. Thank God for that pre-evasion, huh? Keeps us from taking damage from most ordinary attacks. Speaking of, that, little handicap I talked about for the final stage... Oh, dang it. We didn't get caught here the first time, I don't think. Oh, that's not good. Oh, there it is. Got it. Now all we have to do is make it to the end and take down Marok again. Which, if previous experience has taught us anything, shouldn't be too difficult. We're gonna have to take him down again, and then we're going to have to, make our way through Viper's stage one more time to, I think, solve some kind of, technically a box puzzle in one of those corridors loaded with the explosive crates to get his jewel, and then we should be good to go. Back through Nova's stage again, which, yikes. Hey, MC, how's it going, man? We're just grinding the last couple of jewels here before taking on what I fear is gonna be, like, honestly, a pretty hard challenge to get that victory lap stage. Like, if I'm correct, to actually get the final stage with Asimov and, for whatever reason, a mini-boss fight against Carrera, the one stage boss that did not reappear at any point during, like, our run through the firmament, we have to defeat Nova with Prevasion. Or sorry, without Prevasion, which is just, oh my god. Hey, that's great news, MC. They say I made the mistake of playing around with Dark Souls. I'm hooked now. I'm so glad to hear that. It's a great series, and it strikes me as the type of thing that you would really, really enjoy. I'm glad I could introduce you to it. What kind of build are you going with? Alright, so he should open with his... that. Oh, thief build. Nice. That sounds like a perfect fit for you. High risk, high reward. Man, how far we've come. This time I'm winning because I know how to dodge the boss's attacks, and not because Prevasion can just carry you in this game. Lazy laser time. Here it comes. Yeah! Got him. There we go. As he says, got the Asylum Demon with the broken sword too to train controls. Of course you did. Dual blades, longsword. Yeah, so you're using a very versatile build. That's cool stuff. And Spanner says, currently I'm hooked to Paper Mario the Origami King. Cool stuff. I've tried to go into that completely blind. I've got a copy sitting on my kitchen island right now. I have to finish up the final stage in Color Splash, which is honestly not that bad. It's not, you know, phenomenal, but it's a good bit of fun before tucking into Origami King, but I'm hoping to do that later this evening. It looks really, really good. Yeah, there we go. Just one more. Time for a final showdown with the Crack King. By the by, can we forge anything? Probably not. So you got 2 air dashes or like a double jump. Neither of which I really think we need. Okay, let me make sure I know the right place to go to for this one. Alright, so we're going to be waiting until after the, kind of what passes for a mini-boss in these types of stages, the, little emergency room. Well, now wait! Viper stage actually does have a mini-boss. Remember the spider unit? Which is actually a lot of fun. This game doesn't have many legitimate mini-bosses. It's got the spider, those mantis units that get reused to hell and back in, like, the final stretch of stages, and, like the steroid plant from the Gluttony boss's stage. And, well, I'd say they're all just fine. The 2 that don't get reused are actually pretty great, but could have used more of those great Mega Man style mini-bosses. Always one of my favorite parts of the games, actually. So here we're just going to be plowing straight through the train, trying not to get ourselves blown up like that, of course. Let's see if we can't pick up this commendation while we're... Oh, not a commendation, just some money. This is gonna be the good stuff, right? Spinner says it's my first Paper Mario game. Well, I'm really glad you're enjoying it then, man. It's... As I said, I'm trying to go in totally spoiler-free, but, once I tuck in over the next couple of days, I'll definitely give you guys some thoughts once I actually know, oh, you know, what this game is. I've played all of the Paper Mario games except the one we never ever talk about on 3DS. And I think it's just a great, phenomenally colorful and personality-laden little series. Okay. So I am going to, like, be racking my brain as we run through this stage, thinking, oh, new skill. Look like some kind of shield, maybe? That'd be helpful, seeing as how we're going to go without our dodge move for the final boss this time around. Whew. Air dash coming in hot. And now that we know his moveset, Viper should go down much more easily than he did the first time around as well. This is actually one of the bosses that gave me more trouble the first time, I want to say. There we go. Oh, yikes. Is it going to switch to the ceiling? Yep. Come on. Now there's more than one way to handle this. Yeah. Way more dangerous when it's mounted on the ceiling. That did it. Much faster than our first time around. Good stuff. Not necessarily a better run, but a faster one. So next we proceed through the crack factory until we hit the emergency or like ambush room. Speaking of, I'll have to remember to post more recent Viper the Rapper tracks in the Discord. He's released some pretty entertaining stuff lately. As if, sorry, that suggests that some of his stuff isn't incredibly entertaining. You know what I mean. I'm actually very disappointed that, like, the character Viper in this particular game does not afford me more opportunities to make Viper the Rapper jokes based off of, like, their characterization. This one's just like a Pop Idol fanboy, I think. Which, I mean, okay, sure, but doesn't do anything for my hilarious crack man humor. Yeah, I remember this. We're going to have to use these boxes to avoid gouts of steam, and now they're going to alternate in a bit, right? Yeah. Might as well get the goods. Love that air dash. It's well worth the energy consumption, I think. It uses, what, about, yeah, maybe right at or a little under a quarter of our energy. Okay, here we go. Now, I think to clear these rooms, you can either defeat all of the enemies or just destroy the siren. Like so. It's pretty clever, actually. Alright, kids, now let's make sure old Brady actually knows what he's doing here. Right. Okay, so I'm going to be reading this bit by bit to make sure we get this. And we're probably not going to want... Well, no. No, as it stands, this one's fine. Mm-hmm. So we've got to destroy these four. Right. MC says, I too want the power of God and anime on my side. Well... Oh, hold on. So we may or may not be able to get this. No! No! That was it! God damn! Okay. It's obvious what we have to do there. We might actually just, like, off ourselves here, so we can try that again. Fairly certain that emergency room, or the ambush room, acts as a checkpoint. Wow, you're one resilient little guy, ain't you? Yeah, so my question is, I guess this is like a design thing, but why is it so hard to die, like, in the course of the standard gameplay? Like, and including the bosses, but, like, Nova can just whip our ass easily. Don't really get that. Okay, so we're gonna break this one, right? Damn, they take a lot of shots. Then this one. Okay. MC says because nowadays people don't like when it's hard. Well, again, I don't think difficulty for its own sake is a good thing, in the least. But that's not my problem at all. Like, it's going from a style of gameplay where it's actually quite difficult to die unless you fall in like a bottomless pit or something, to a final boss that is exponentially harder than anything else in the game. Like, the only other segment that gave us any real trouble, I want to say, was the boss rush, just because of Copen, the Proto Man guy. Okay, so now what we want to do, hit that. Good. Right. Sorry about how tedious this definitely is. We're just gonna have to work a little for this one. Now we're going to destroy this one, and then the explosive that's going to fall right after. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we want to hit that. Good. Very good. So, like that. Hey, check that out. Okay, now all we have to do is go take down Viper, which should be the easy part of the stage. If I recall, he's the one with the crazy drop kicks and, lava orbs. And unlike a whole lot of the bosses in this game, he's vulnerable more or less all of the time. Again, if I recall correctly. I think the only other boss that leaves themselves open literally the entire time they're on screen is Carrera, the one with the power of magnetism. Right, so we wanna... MC says, I want to say they wanted bosses to be harder than the stage because you respawn at the boss so you can learn it. Well, I can see that. That's kind of in step or in tune with the design philosophy that like some of the Mega Man Zero games worked off of. But that's still. But they want you to reach the boss regardless. Yeah, that would check out. Were it not for the fact that, again, even the bosses, aside from Nova, and like that final fight with Copen, aren't that difficult. Like, it's entirely possible they intended for all of them to be more difficult than they were, which is totally fair. But, as is probably, like, pretty clear at this point, I've never been the biggest fan of the difficulty spike. Like, I like my challenge to be nice and incremental. This is him. Alright. Let's do it. One tricky thing we have to look out for is these, like, after effects that his shots tend to leave behind. Jesus, not doing well at all this time. Alright. I was just here for your jewel. Oh no. Yeah, just in time for this. Okay, so we can dodge those shots, but just barely. Oh, we can destroy them with regular buster shots too? Wow. Alright, so we now have all the jewels we need. Everything's great now, right? Well, no, not really, because as it happens, we now have to, I'm fairly certain, play the entire final stage again with a massive handicap. Well, kinda, sort of a handicap, maybe? See, now we're going to, like, give all these, or hand these over to Jewel. And do we just keep handing them over? Yes, here we go. She handed me a necklace that was infused with 7 jewels. I've seen these jewels before. Well, that's nice, but we've got this really cool necklace that lets us automatically dodge projectile attacks, which... And she says, "Hey Jewel, want all my jewels? They're rare." Now comes the less pleasant part. Okay, so we go into our gear, and you see how we've got this beautiful Pervasion chain. Now we need to replace that with the handmade necklace that, no joke, has no effects in the least. Yeah, this ain't gonna be fun. What we're probably gonna want to do is go with the Orochi, because I think it'll be helpful for both phases of Nova's fight. I think. Let's see if we can craft anything worthwhile. Another osmotic eye, we don't really need that. Yeah, again, this game, to give some additional context, I'm pretty sure this one was like a digital-only, like 3DS eShop release at first. So it's really intended for, like, grinding, clearly, like with the challenges and all that stuff. But, yeah, I ain't about that right now. Right now. In my spare time, I'll definitely be revisiting this to hopefully get A or S ranks on all these stages. But for now, let's make ourselves suffer again. I think the Orochi's little options, its drones, will make tagging Nova while he has the shield up much easier, as well as hopefully assist us with God form Nova. Just run like hell, ain't no way we're dodging anything anymore. Yeah, and here we have to take out what's left of the corporation's forces, which ain't a whole lot at this point. MC says, I have quite a dislike for being PM'd on Discord, especially when a new player for Uplink wants help, but it's fun to see the struggle. That's the mod you dev for, right? Sumeragi Banzai? Really, dude? You work for a power company. Oh, that's the base game. The mod is on Link. I gotcha. So we can actually tag the ninjas while they're still mounted on the ceiling and then burn them down pretty easily that way. Okay, so it looks like I probably, and I could have told you this right off the gate, but I definitely underestimated the utility of Orochi, because you do get a nice little pistol with it as well. MC says confusing names for the fun of all. Oh, ain't that the truth? It gets really confusing if you're dealing with something like the Total War community, where mods have mods, and some of those mods have mods, and all of them take, or all of them have slight variations of the same name, like plays on the same name or turn a phrase or something. Alright, let's do this.
モルフォが生み出すこのサイバーフィールドがある限り、君の攻撃は僕に届くな。そして同時に彼女の力が僕のセブンス、サイコキネシスを高めてくれる。
Oh jeez, look at our health already.
やっぱり彼女はすごいね。行くよ。
Oh god, this is gonna suck.
お願い。避けられる。行くよ。どうしよう。でも無駄なことさ。君の力は全て僕の手中にあるんだ。もてあそぶお前だけは絶対に許さない。見るといい。
Time for his ult.
全ては平和のため。中途半端だ。避けられる。
Damn it. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't gonna be fun. This is not gonna be fun at all. And I think part of that is because, we've never really had reason to use something other than, the super shield necklace before.
そして同時に彼女の力が僕のセブンス、サイコキネシスを高めてくれる。 宝剣を使わずにこのパワー、やっぱり彼女はすごいね。これならどうだい？私を止め、避けられる。行く。まだ意識が。でも無駄なことさ。君の力は全て僕の手中にあるんだ。
Seems like it's slightly harder to... I could just be misremembering, but it seems like it's honestly harder to disrupt his shield this time around. Like we actually need to keep the electro field on it for a second before it'll actually disperse. Oh, it comes for us either way.
一人が未知の兵器を所持しているようなものだ。危険極まる。管理が必要なことぐらい君にもわかる。行くよ。他の方法だってあるはずだ。ヒーリングボルト。時間をかければいいの。でもないんだよね。時間もさ。
Alright, so he's down. But now we're about to die. Like, no probably, no maybe, we are just straight up going to die. There's no way I can imagine us doing this. Not on the first go, anyway. No! You kidding me? Of course. Well, apparently, and I can't say for certain, but, like, the level we unlocked by doing all of this is just a straight victory lap, like, not challenging in the least. Like, if it's any indication, Carrera is the mid-boss. You know, the easiest boss in the game? So the good thing about Orochi is it'll allow us to kind of focus more on the second form's attack patterns than actually, like, getting accurate hits in, or shots off, I should say. Which is a positive. Here it comes. That's far and away the easiest attack he's got to dodge. I say as I get hit by it, but he almost always follows that up with some rings. There we go. Are you kidding me? And it looks like we don't get, like, health pickups between rounds. We get, like, a charge to our skill meter, which is handy, I guess. I honestly have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
全ての旅草を守り平和へと導くだろう。おっとさあラストエンペラー。ヒーリングボルト。僕こそが。
Hey Spanners, welcome back to technically an in-game challenge here. Okay, so we can jump the energy wave, but just barely. Oh Christ, here it comes. Damn it! Damn it! Oh yeah, Spinners, your chat name can change color occasionally. I think like if the chat client automatically reloads on Twitch's end or something. So this isn't impossible, it's just, you know, damn near.
モルフォが生み出すこのサイバーフィールド破壊、君の攻撃は僕には届かない。そして同時に彼女の力が僕のセブンサイコキネシスを高めてくれる。宝剣を使わずにこのパワー、やっぱり彼女はすごいね。
MC says perfectly feasible. Well, yeah, it's doable. It's just, you know, typical 100% completion stuff. Hard as hell.
僕の手中にあるんだから。避けられる。もてあそぶお前だけは絶対に許さない。これならどうだ。テロリストの許しなんて最初から求めちゃいない。
No, I do not think this is a Dark Souls level of boss. For one, if we're gonna be honest, like, the boss battles in this game are really well done and, like, visually astounding. But they're nowhere near, like, Dark Souls level of quality. Not remotely. Furthermore, again, based around a mechanic or a way of playing the game, the player is only optionally encouraged to experiment with before. Like, if you want to make special necklaces that might, say, increase your damage or something like that, you would unequip the little auto-dodge amulet. But the assumption kind of seems to be that you won't. Oh, he can do that. Ah, right, of course they can all spam their special moves, I forgot. Well, this ain't the friggin' run. What on earth do those pickups do? I don't even know that they charge the skill gauge, honestly. EM points make— well, no, EM points wouldn't make any sense either. Oh, thank you, God. Well, anime's given us strength. Oh, and the title of this track is Reincarnation. How appropriate. You know, looking more and more at this design, this guy reminds me of, like, the ultimate form of Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 3's main villain, or rather, their virtual avatar. I think it was Noah Kaiba. He, like, projects himself as the incarnation of a supreme deity, I think, influenced heavily by, like, Buddhism or, there we go. Thank you. And it looks just like this, essentially. Let's see. MC says, was talking about difficulty. Of course, Dark Souls is better. Again, technically, like, very technically, a matter of opinion, but I would say, yeah, just a little bit more robust and allowing for more diverse playstyles. And Spanner says, all I know is my mobile always makes me this green. And, yeah, Brady, just like the dodge roll. This game's dodge mechanic seems kind of weird. There are certain things it looks like you might be able to just barely dodge or clip through, and certain things you cannot without the auto dodge. And MC says the green orbs always have the same pattern. They do not, actually. They can fall either center right left or center left right. And it looks, I could be wrong, it looks like oftentimes the second orb tracks to whatever side of the platform you're closest to. Not always, but often. And that guy reminds me of a Last Remnant boss. I've never played Last Remnant, but I definitely know the name. So, we know how this goes. We defeat Purple Yugi, we go back to Firmament, and we get congratulated by our buddy Asimov, who's like, yeah! Now us adepts have free reign to slaughter all the humans! Basically pulling a Magneto gambit. And, he's able to shoot us with one of those, cutscene enhanced, power-draining bullets that Copen used for, his second boss fight. And normally that's where, like, the game kind of ends, but now we should unlock this, this special stage that allows us to, prevent that... Oh, hold on. MC just shared an image of this boss. Yeah! Oh my god, it kind of does. First off, that's a really cool design. The Fallen, okay. Also reminds me of the Savior from Devil May Cry 4. Spinner says Stormy Ascent. Oh god. Oh man, that stage. Like, Slippery Climb was bad enough. And I say bad enough, I mean difficult enough. It was like actually a really fun stage. But Stormy Ascent is, oh jeez. Imagine a stage so hard they said, no, this doesn't belong in the first Crash Bandicoot. The new stage Vicarious Visions designed for the third game in the Insane Trilogy, Future Tense, it's kind of tricky too, but like a lot of fun. And MC says that boss is super hard too. I'll have to check that game out if there are a lot of like character designs like that in it. I'm obviously a sucker for audiovisual design. That looks really cool. So we're going to stand up to him, and thanks to our pennant we can survive. Spanner says anything's better than Tubular. True. The special world from Super Mario World had like some Mario Maker level stages in it. But I did love how all the stages were named after like various outdated terms for cool, rad, gnarly, groovy, I think. And he actually says this, and thanks to, of all things, the necklace, we're going to be able to survive somehow. Normally that's where it would end. Oy. So, I honestly can't tell, but part of me wants to say the voice acting is intentionally hammy and over the top. I think that's what's going on, especially given, like, how lively some of the bosses were. MC says, Last Remnant is more like an experimental RPG about making teams and having them moving around the combat area. That sounds cool. And Spanner says the only difference is, if you remake Tubular now, it'd be piss easy because of how Super Mario Maker 2 changed the P-balloon. Like an unlimited... is it like unlimited use now once you've acquired it? And MC says the story's kind of bad, but the experimental gameplay is hit or miss. I'll have to check that out then. Wait a minute! The Last Remnant. Is this a game where you control a team of 3, like, mercenaries running around a pseudo-futuristic theocracy, and all the gameplay, or all the combat, is done with guns? If so, I not only own this game, and have somehow completely forgotten its name, I friggin' love it. No, that's not it. Okay. Spanner says it's unlimited, and you have way better control. Oh, that's kind of a shame. I really liked the floatiness of the P-balloon in the original games. I know that sounds weird, but... Hold on, let me... MC says sounds like a Final Fantasy game. Hold on, real quick, I'm looking this up because I just have to know. I might be thinking of Resonance of Fate, is that? That sounds right. Yeah, no, I'm thinking of a game, I'm pretty sure it's called Resonance of Fate. Hold on, I'm going to check on that now. Yep, Resonance of Fate, that's the one. It's honestly not that bad. So, we actually got Nova after just a few tries. I was not expecting to be that good, or for it to go that well for us. Let's tackle this special stage now. I was feeling such a weird sensation. Last thing I remember, yeah, I was shot by Asimov. I died there. And yet, I feel so alive and well. I'm fully conscious. I could feel the electrons and sounds in the air around me. I understand now. Lumen was my Septima, my heart and soul. You've got to be kidding me. Now that I have no body, she can only exist in soul. What? That's why we're now together. Together as one. Oh, this is creepy as hell. MC says, I know The Last Remnant got a remaster on console. Definitely checking it out then. And Spanners asks, are you still working on getting your capture card together? Yes, I am. Probably gonna run home, like to the family home, and get the last couple of pieces of gear I need for it in the next week or so, probably. Not in time to, like, stream my first run-through of Origami King, but definitely to try out some other stuff in the future. Now that I don't have a body, I'm as free-flowing as electrons. So this is both incredibly creepy and incredibly bizarre. So the girl... Sorry, not the girl, but her AI, like, J-pop idol alternate form was somehow Gunvolt's Septima, or his power source, his locus. That kind of makes sense since she's an electronic life form, but it has some very disturbing implications and also doesn't make sense, seeing as how the two of them presumably weren't in contact whatsoever until just after the beginning of this game. So, yeah, this is weird. He was barely hanging on. We could lose him at any moment. It's a miracle he's still alive. We were both shot just the same. I started to become one with his conscious. Deeper, okay, so this is all actually coming from Jules' point of view, not GV's. That makes more sense, and is way less disturbing. I traced his whole body with my energy. That's when I saw it. Spinner says, if there's anything you want to play with online co-op, I could check what games I have. I appreciate that, man. I'll definitely let you know. MC says, I mean, still creepy. Yes, but not as creepy, which given how this game has handled the interactions between these two, that is a victory. He wore this? For me? It's just a normal pendant. It does nothing. Okay, yeah, it's creepy again. And yet somehow this pendant saved his life? Phew, thank goodness. The way some of this is translated, like the tone and sort of the gravity of the situation shifts from one sentence to another. I hated that I was always the one being protected all the time. He rescued me, gave me my freedom. At the end of it all, I was able to pay it forward and save him. My heart was overcome with a gentle, warm sense of relief. I think it's actually creepier. I'm not through with saving him. That pendant saved his life, but there's so much blood. At this rate, he'll surely die. I don't have a body of my own now. I can't last much longer, so that leaves us with only one option. Oh, looks like we're stuffing the supporting female cast right in that fridge at the 11th hour. My consciousness will live on inside. We're possessing him? Oh, God. My life force became one with the electric current in his body. Also, how did Asimov manage to kill us with one shot from Copen's gun that, again, just temporarily disables your power? MC says I have a fun roleplay story from yesterday if you wish to hear it. Yeah, sure, go right ahead. Azure. The Azure Striker awakens with a new compass. A mournful anger conducts him onward as the Muse's anthem continues inside his heart. Meaning, I think we have less health now, like less max health. But I think we're going to be in permanent, like, anime action mode. A voice was resounding in my head. In that moment, I understood. Her thoughts and memories were flowing into my mind like water. My body was surging with power more than I had ever felt. Jewel did this to save me. I held her body in my arms as it disappeared into a beam of light. Of course it did. Well, I think that actually makes sense, seeing as how the other adepts all kind of exploded when they died. A voice in my head began to whisper. Asimov needs to be stopped. At all costs. I'll never let a tragedy like this happen ever again. Oh, let's kick some anime ass, yo. Time to run back through, the fundament. No, not fundament. I'm sorry. We can re-equip our pervasion chain, which is great. Firmament. Back through the firmament station. Only this time with permanent anime backing tracks and enhanced anime power. Just leave him. As I said, I know nothing about the Asimov fight, save that there is one, but I'm expecting it, given that he's just a guy with a stolen pistol, for it to be kind of like, even though he is supposedly some kind of talented field operative himself, kind of a victory lap fight. Hey! Somebody's late to the party. It's our good buddy Carrera, the Magnet Master.
Gunvolt! 死してなお小生の渇望は埋まっておらねえ。小生は小生を倒した貴殿と今ひとたび拳を交えたかった。何があったかは知らねえ。今の貴殿は鬼神がごとし気迫。感じるぞ。
So this guy's just going to be fed to, like, Super Gunvolt now. That is an awesome, like, battle cry. Let us knock on death's door with reckless abandon. And since we've got, like, unlimited mid-air jumps and air dashes and unlimited electricity now, he does exist just to serve as, like, a demonstration of how powerful we are now. Kind of feel bad for this guy. Like, he was the easiest boss out of, like, the main 6, and like, now he's here just to feed into, like, this awesome power fantasy they're giving us. Like, when Sin and Punishment Star Successor did its boss rush, all of the game's major bosses, like all 5 of, like, the principal antagonists, including the really easy ones who are oft in the earlier stages, come back with brand new forms, multi-stage fights, cool movesets, all scaled for the endgame. That's awesome. This is just... I feel bad for him. Now, he did deal some damage to us. MC says, so we were in front of a scale model of an airship made in metal. We were told that there was something inside the balloon and tried to find a way to open it. The NPC druid with us just approached, knocked on the captain's cabin door, asked if they could open, and the balloon opened, revealing a parchment. The druid grabbed it, read it, and put it back. Marcus, a player character, tried it next, but the balloon remained closed. The druid suggested it was about faith, believing that it would work. Marcus tried again, and same deal. Rex, my character, asked to try. He knocked on the captain's door and asked politely. The balloon opened, he grabbed the parchment, read it, and put it back. So, everybody, I guess, has to read it for themselves or something, or it says something different to every player character? I would be tempted to say the best solution to this is a large, like, hairpin or ice pick or something. Yeah, in fact, if Mario Color Splash has taught me anything, it's that the answer to this problem is ice pick. MC says Marcus tried again and nothing happened. Same parchment, but it was about willing to put it back. I see. Well, poor Marcus, just getting the short end of the stick here. Oh, we're gonna rumble with him on the orbital elevator. Babel, right? I know this guy's voice. Oh my god, I know this Seiyu's voice. Spanner says the enemy design in Paper Mario Origami King is amazing. I'm so glad to hear that, but, like, today at least, please, like, no spoilers or particulars, anything like that. I'm gonna be diving into it after, like, a week plus of waiting just this evening, and I'll have lots to share with you. But from what I've seen, like, the little origami folded enemies look very, very cute. I will say that. I know this guy's voice, though. Did he voice a character in one of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Programs that I enjoy far, far more than any 22-year-old with multiple degrees should? Like, I mean, they're stupid fun, but they're a lot of fun. He's going Super Saiyan? Wait, so he's got electric powers as well. Or no, sorry, he drained our power, so he's using... yeah. Oh no, sorry. So we can't damage him normally. Oh, I know what we're gonna have to do. Oh my god, we're going to have to, like, clash orbs with him. Spinner says, I'm just referring to the stuff you see in trailers. Yeah, no, it looks very, very cute. Okay, so dodge the 2 volleys, then... So he can just push right through our field. Okay, so what I think we're gonna need to do is lock him up with, like, the energy field when he dashes from side to side, and use that opportunity to tag him a few times. That should do it, right? I like this, though. It comes out of nowhere. Like, now they're giving us this massive backstory about Sumeragi and what they're doing and why, and oh, the first Septima that could do this were discovered in South America, you know, ages ago, but... We were able to do more against him that time. There we go. Now we got him. We did, in fact, just have to, like, break him. It just took a while. I find it kind of amazing that nobody in his organization seemed to know he could do any of this, but... Alright. Oh! Oh, that's nasty. I'm interested to see what his ult will be like. What the hell? Okay, this is a really cool fight, actually. Damn it. Jesus. These patterns are actually really kind of tricky. Jesus. And they do not drain our power just like for a couple seconds. That's got some staying power. I will say, like, it's a touted feature of the game, and all these vocal tracks, they're very nice. I'm usually a pretty big fan of, like, the production values and general style of J-pop, and yeah, it's catchy, energetic stuff. Okay, so phase 1 we got down. Phase 1's easy. One more round, right, and then... And then we can just drain him. Okay, so are there any better weapons for this? Not really that I can see. Oh god.
新たなエネルギー資源のキーとしてこの力に目をつけた。
Damn it!
バニッシュスメラギはエネルギー研究のため雷撃能力者を量産する計画を打ち立てた。
And then, yeah, once
能
he...
力者から雷撃の能力因子をクローニングし他の実験体へ移植するプラン。プロジェクトガンボルト。
Damn it! So, Copen did something really similar, where if they hit you... And I'm not sure if this is intentional, I kind of get the feeling it's not to the degree I'm having trouble with it, but when they hit you once with, like, the power-draining bullets, they very easily end up comboing you because there's not a whole lot you can do to respond to other maneuvers. So, like, they could just beat the piss out of you and drain a full health bar in no time at all. I don't think that was intentional. I really don't. Speaking of, what was... Okay. I mean, it's a pretty solid final boss. I'll be honest with you, I like this a whole lot more than Nova's first phase. In terms of like how enjoyable the fight is overall, I'd say it's not as epic as his second phase, but it is more enjoyable than that particular fight. Oh, here we go. We're toast. Well, we're dead. 雷撃能力者を量産する計画を打ち立て始まりの能力者から雷撃の能力因子をクローニングし他の実験体へ移植。シーリングボルト Hit him with the sword and it did nothing because I guess his shield was raised again. Okay. その成功例がこの私とお前というわけだ。カーグ、チェイサー、GV、私もお前と同じ境遇だ。What on earth is his ult gonna be like? 世界、ボルティックチェーン。Voltaic chains. Okay. 無能力者たちがいかに我々を迫害してきたか。能力者と無能力者は決して相入れることはできない。では滅ぼすしかあるまい。Yeah, this is, I'm not gonna lie, this is really tough. Like, I'm sure I'm not doing well objectively, but Get him, yeah. かつて南米の奥地で世界で最初のセブンス能力者が発見された。Like, phase 1's really easy. Phase 2, it's that attack where he sends out the little turret that always seems to get me. This one. Okay. あらゆる電子機器を意のままに操れる雷撃のセブンスはまさに究極の能力。当時旧来の発電方法に限界を迎えていたスメラギの連中は新たなエネルギー資源のキーとしてこの力に Holy crap, are we gonna get this one? Jeez. Okay, Voltaic chains. Based on what I saw, Voltaic chains isn't that bad as long as we have our But it's an instant kill. Of course it is. Never mind, that was just our best run. And wow. Okay. Not at all sure how I feel about that. And, you know, of course, it was our best run, far and away. He seems to be way more proficient with these powers than we are. There we go. As long as I don't get clipped by the turrets, I seem to be able to handle this. Not, you know, super well, but can handle it. Okay, now for this madness. Let's finish in style. No, that was the heal. I was going for the sword. Whoopsie. That one was on me. We got him, though. We got him! Yeah. Okay. So that's the final boss of Azure Striker Gunvolt. Down. I actually like that fight, despite all my complaining. Aside from, like, the turret, which seems like it might be a little bit random, all of his patterns are fairly consistent and learnable. The instant death, or one-hit kill Voltaic Chains move might not be the world's greatest idea, I don't think, but it does look like, unlike some of the other bosses, he can't spam that special move quite as frequently, since we kept him in that third phase for a little bit, and he didn't use it twice. So it looks like in the next game we might be fighting, like a bunch of rogue adepts. One's not affiliated with Sumeragi. And I know the main villain is inexplicably the Lust boss from this game that we actually didn't get to fight because Copen killed them. And they've got like a new form, or several new forms, and all of this, and I'm really interested to see how they come back as like the main antagonist of a different story. Because they kind of seemed like one of the more carefree and, like, cheery, affable, adepts we met in this game. Meanwhile, at the base of Babel, Zeno and Monica were waiting for GV and the others to return. Before long, the elevator with Gunvolt and Asimov inside returned. So Asimov was trying to do all of this without cluing the rest of the organization in, apparently. Like, that thing was a revolver? Gunvolt couldn't muster a reply. Monica stood there in silence. Asimov's body grew cold. Monica was overwhelmed with grief. She collapsed where she stood. GV exited the elevator, unable to look back at his comrades.
Oi, GV! なんだよ? 何があったってんだ? それに、シアンちゃんは...
彼に触れないで。
As Zeno approached Gunvolt, an invisible force kept him at bay. It was the will of a girl to protect the person she cherished. For GV, his world had collapsed. There was only one thing left to do. Use your electrical powers to fuel, like, all the awesome neon lights at a disco? Can the second game just be one gigantic disco brawl? Would that be better? The long night came to an end, many thoughts raced in his mind. That was when the muse gently said to him,
GV、これからはどこまでもずっと一緒だから。あなたはどこへ行きたい？
僕は。
Zeno tried to listen, but GV's murmurs were out of earshot. All he could do was gaze off into the distance at his friend. Who before long vanished into the light of the morning sun. Again, music's quite nice. The whole game had a beautiful soundtrack. Right, so here we are again. Do I have any new thoughts on the game following sort of that final little run? It's really nice that all of the jewels have a tangible reward associated with them, even though there's also, like, some additional challenge you have to overcome with that final, Nova fight. The final stage was, I mean, it was nice. It was nice. I guess they give you Carrera literally just as somebody to wail on with this unlimited power you have, before you fight a boss specifically designed to take all that power away. Which is interesting, and I think actually good design? Yeah, really good design. Because they want you to experience that power fantasy and give you, like, a credible challenge as the final boss. The story... Well, I mean, this was like a little Mega Man Zero with the serial numbers filed off released as like a digital-only download back in 2014. So the story is not fantastic. But the cast of characters and especially like audio-visual design throughout is really good. Reminds me of like the later Mega Man Zero games, the ones that I personally really enjoy. Like the first game is great, but like 2 through 4, amazing. Yeah, it's a good game. I'd say well worth checking out. If you're a fan of like post Mega Man 8 Mega Man, so like the X series, Zero, ZX, all of that good stuff. This is definitely worth your time and your money. It's right up your alley. I dig it, and I hope that all of you watching have as well. Because, after a very brief break, and whenever the credit roll ends, we're going to be digging into the first hour or so of the sequel, Azure Striker Gunvolt 2, and I think in that game, either in the original build or added as DLC later, Copen, the Adept Hunter, with that, like, BS gun that Asimov used during the final fight, is playable somehow. I don't know if it's like through the entire game, like Mega Man X style, or if you can only play as him in select stages. But I know there's that. I know a bunch of DLC stages were released that are also included with this compilation as part of Azure Striker Gunvolt 2, and like they bring back bosses from this game. As I said, Mirak, the lazy kid in the hover chair with the wormholes, and Yoda, probably my favorite of the 6, like, principal bosses, with all of the lasers who was camped out in the media tower. They have, like, stages of their own as part of the DLC, I think. But I'm really excited to see what, like, our villains, what our bosses and stages look like in this next game. I'm hoping there's going to be more mini-bosses, and just a bit, well, actually a lot, more enemy variety, because that's one of the areas where this game did kind of seem to fall flat just a little. Toward the end, there was a lot of reuse of the same, like, maybe dozen enemy types. and in like an action-based, like side-scrolling kind of shooter like this, you really want some diversity in the types of enemies that you're going to be running into, right? So you're having to learn new things. But yeah, it's good stuff. Any final thoughts on Gunvolt from the chat? We just listened to this beautiful, like, credit music. Spanner says 4 out of 5, too much anime. I'm inclined to agree. I'm inclined to agree with both. Both sentiments there. It's a really good game, not perfect, but really, really good. And yeah, the like hardcore anime storytelling this is purely a matter of personal preference. Just a bit much for me. Like, everything seems, and I don't think this was intentional, I think part of it is just due to, like, translation issues, really kind of overwrought, and the interactions between GV and Jewel, who, like, looks much, much younger than him, are incredibly creepy. Like, there's no sugarcoating it. They're outright disturbing. Characterization, though, for all of the bosses, like, as kind of one note, but very lively characters, is done just fine. I quite like all of them. And the supporting cast seem fine. This does seem to kind of run into this problem, and this could just be from the perspective of somebody who isn't an anime fanatic, even though I watch a few sporadically. Like I said, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows, like believe it or not, the original, like, subbed Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows are the perfect mindless fun. When you don't want to think about anything, you don't want to think critically, you just want to sit back for the evening and relax with some cool character designs and the like, pop one of those suckers on. But, it does this thing a lot of, like, substandard animes or, like, stories with similar style. Think like the Kingdom Hearts plots tend to do, where bad, barely coherent, amateurish philosophy substitutes for, like, actual characterization or motivation. Remember, Gunvolt, I'll always be a breath away. Still creepy. Good note to end on. I kid, but it is a great game, seriously. And major props to the good folks over at NT Creates for cranking this out. We unlocked the My Songs Will Be Your Wings trophy. And now have a complete save. The entire roster now available. Or the entire slate of stages. So that's how many stages in the entire game? 5, 12, 13, I want to say? Not bad at all for, like, a little originally 3DS download game. But with that, folks, we're going to take a quick break, if only because I have to exit the exit the game and restart it, I believe, to get back to the collections menu so we can access the second game. But the stream's just gonna drop for maybe 20 seconds, and then I'll be right back, okay? So don't go anywhere.